Once upon a time, Brooklyn and Romeo Beckham seemed inseparable. Two brothers growing up side by side under the intense spotlight that came with being the sons of David and Victoria Beckham. They shared everything: family vacations, football, games in the backyard, front row seats at fashion shows, and the type of closeness you can only forge when your lives are shaped by both privilege and pressure. It was the kind of bond that looked unbreakable from the outside. Two young men navigating a unique world with each other as a constant. But over time, that once tight brotherly relationship has reportedly unraveled, and many now trace the beginning of the fallout to one very specific event: Brooklyn's 2022 wedding to actress Nicola Peltz. The lavish Florida ceremony, reportedly costing around $3 million, was meant to be a celebration of love and unity, a picturesque moment that brought two powerful families together. But according to sources close to the Beckhams, that weekend was less about blending families and more about brewing tensions. Insiders say that things took a sharp turn when Nicola allegedly kept her distance from Romeo's then-girlfriend of 3 years, Mia Reagan. Mia, who had been warmly welcomed into the Beckham household and was invited to the wedding because of her long-standing relationship with Romeo, was reportedly left out in the cold by the bride. Nicola, they say, went out of her way to avoid engaging with Mia, which created an air of discomfort that Romeo found hard to ignore. It's been said that Romeo was deeply affected by how Mia was treated that weekend. While he's always been known for being grounded and drama-averse, sources suggest that this incident left him not just hurt, but angry. The wedding was the turning point, one insider shared. Romeo is genuinely a lovely guy, and to him, all this drama just felt so unnecessary. It wasn't what a wedding should be about. For someone who valued harmony and loyalty, watching his girlfriend be sidelined during such a major family event was more than just awkward. It was infuriating. The tension didn't end there. According to those familiar with the situation, the fallout from the wedding has only grown worse in the years since. Romeo, described by people close to him as ambitious and emotionally mature, reportedly couldn't get past the way Mia was treated. And that moment planted the seed for a deeper rift between him and Brooklyn. It didn't help that Brooklyn seemed to fully align himself with Nicola in every disagreement that followed, even when it meant putting distance between himself and his own family. This unwavering loyalty, some say, has made reconciliation between the brothers nearly impossible. What once was an unshakable bond has turned into a cold silence. For David and Victoria Beckham, watching their sons drift apart has reportedly been heartbreaking. They had always envisioned their children supporting one another through life's highs and lows. But sources say that Brooklyn and Romeo's relationship has been rocky for a long time now, and things have only gotten worse with time. A recent flashpoint came when Brooklyn and Nicola chose not to attend David's highly anticipated 50th birthday celebration. It was a big moment for the family, and Brooklyn's absence sent shockwaves through the circle. Romeo stepped up in his brother's place, delivering speeches and helping organize the celebration, roles Brooklyn would have filled in the past. It was a very public symbol of how far the brothers have grown apart. Even attempts at maintaining a civil front in public have reportedly failed. Nicola and Mia both showed up to a Yves Saint Laurent event during Paris Fashion Week in 2023, and later, they appeared again at the premiere of David's Netflix documentary Beckham. But those appearances, while seemingly cordial on the surface, were filled with tension beneath. Observers at both events noted that while they occupied the same spaces, the women avoided real interaction. It felt forced, strained, like people going through the motions for the cameras, not a family finding peace. The tension didn't stop there. Sources claim Nicola pointed fingers again, this time at Romeo's current girlfriend, Kim Turnbull. Allegedly, Nicola said that she and Brooklyn skipped David's birthday party because of Kim's history with Brooklyn. But that story quickly fell apart. People close to the family clarified that Kim never dated Brooklyn at all. In fact, she was previously linked to Rocco Ritchie, Madonna's son. That piece of gossip even prompted Cruz Beckham to step in and publicly correct the record through a now-deleted Instagram post. The moment only added to the growing sense that small misunderstandings were being used to fuel a deeper divide. Despite everything, Romeo and Cruz have reportedly stayed close. Cruz, the youngest Beckham son, is said to have stepped into a kind of peacekeeping role, someone who still believes in the idea of the Beckham family being a unified front. But even his efforts, according to insiders, haven't been enough to heal the growing divide. What started as sibling tension seems to have evolved into something more entrenched, a family fracture that may take more than time to repair. For David, the situation hits especially close to home. He's reportedly confided to close friends that the rift between Brooklyn and Romeo reminds him of the fallout he had with his own father, Ted Beckham, back in the mid-2000s. At the time, Ted released a tell-all book that deeply upset David, causing a temporary rupture in their bond. David eventually reconciled with his father, but the memory of that painful chapter lingers, and seeing his sons go through something similar now brings up a familiar ache. For both David and Victoria, the dream has always been to see their children thrive together, not apart. What's made it even harder for the family is how public everything has become. The Beckhams have always been used to media attention. After all their lives have played out in the spotlight for decades. But this feud feels different. It's personal. It's about family, trust, and relationships, not just flashy headlines or celebrity gossip. Friends of the family say the hardest part for David and Victoria is not knowing how to fix it. They've tried to remain neutral, tried to extend olive branches and encourage their sons to talk things out, but the divide keeps growing. And with Brooklyn continuing to stay firmly in Nicola's corner, it's created a sense of isolation, not just between him and Romeo, but between him and the rest of the family, too. Behind closed doors, there's reportedly a lot of sadness, especially from Victoria. She's always been a fiercely protective mother, someone who has worked hard to keep her family close-knit, despite their high-profile lives. Watching her two oldest sons become strangers to one another has reportedly taken a heavy toll on her. Insiders say she still keeps in touch with Mia and has been supportive of Romeo's relationship with Kim Turnbull. There's a sense that she wants to hold on to whatever connections she still can, even as the dynamic between her children becomes more strained. For Victoria, it's not about choosing sides. It's about preserving the unity she's always tried to build. Meanwhile, Romeo has been quietly moving on with his life. He's focused on his own career and his relationship with Kim, who has kept a relatively low profile throughout all the drama. Friends say Romeo has matured quickly in recent years, stepping out of his older brother's shadow and carving out his own path. He's remained close with his younger siblings, especially Cruz, and has kept a respectful distance from the drama, at least publicly. Still, the emotional weight of the situation isn't lost on him. According to those close to him, he misses the bond he once had with Brooklyn, even if he doesn't see a clear way back to it right now. As for Brooklyn and Nicola, their life together seems to exist in its own world, glamorous, curated, and somewhat removed from the day-to-day reality of the Beckham family. They've continued to appear at events, post polished updates on social media, and maintain an image of unity as a couple. But behind that polished front, insiders say there's a growing awareness that their distance from the rest of the family isn't just being noticed, it's being felt. Whether that realization will lead to reconciliation is still unclear. For now, the Beckham family remains in a kind of emotional limbo, hoping that time, and perhaps a little humility on all sides, might eventually bring their sons back together.